Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Some late night breaking news for the Miami Hurricane fans as their first victory of a massive official visit weekend has just landed as Cameron Pruitt, four-star safety from the state of Alabama, has committed to Miami. And anytime you're able to go into the state of Alabama and beat out the Crimson Tide, beat out Auburn for a commitment, massive win for the Hurricane fans who I think I was sensing a little bit of some lack of patience with how this 2024 class was coming together in terms of being able to grab some of that top end talent. We kind of said for the last couple of weeks, be patient. There's a lot of high caliber players who are going to be taking visits to Miami this month. And I think you're going to start seeing some commitments trickle in. Cameron Pruitt is a very intriguing prospect. We're going to talk a little bit about what he's going to bring to this defense and then talk a little bit about who's been on campus, who's going to be on campus, and what this Miami class could really turn into in this 2024 cycle. Now, before we get into it again, just want to say thank you to you guys and especially the Miami fans. We've talked a lot of Hurricanes football, not only on the high school recruiting trail, but also in the transfer portal. This is a fun program to track under Mario Cristobal. There's not a head coach that recruits harder than Mario Cristobal, and he's been getting it done on the trail again. Appreciate the support you guys have shown. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and it's going to be a busy next couple of weeks for the Miami Hurricane fans. So if you do enjoy the content, lock it in. Let's get into Cameron Pruitt, though. My main takeaway for Cameron Pruitt is I think a lot of college football defenses, and quite frankly, NFL defenses too, are trying to get guys like Cameron Pruitt, who are good athletes. How can you get as much speed on the field to cover all the athletes you're going to see on offense in college football and in the NFL while also being able to stop the run? Cameron Pruitt is a guy that is perfect for this modern day of defense and what you're trying to do, having some versatility. Cameron Pruitt's a guy that I think could play deep safety, and we'll check it out on his film. This dude lines up as off-ball linebacker. He blitzes off the edge. He lines up as a deep safety. He does it all at the high school level, and I'm kind of interested to see what Miami does with his body and what position he's going to play at the next level. I might see him kind of putting on some weight and kind of being a linebacker who's a sideline-to-sideline guy that can carry tight ends, that can tackle running backs in the flat and in space. A lot of different things that you could do with a guy like that. I call him a defensive chess piece. And it makes a lot of sense why all these top Power 5 programs, Texas A&M was also in it, Tennessee was in it, wanted him to play defense. Like, this guy can do a lot of different things. Let's get into the highlights, though, because the highlights, I mean, this is truly a blast to watch. You're going to watch a guy who is, he's a little undersized, and he's going to line up on the edge here. He does not play undersized. Like, he's an absolute force to be reckoned with. He flies around the football field, wants contact. You talk about becoming more physical on the defense side of the football for Miami. Yeah, you can do that with going out and getting Justin Scott, getting Aiden Breland, David Stone. You can also do it by getting an enforcer like Cameron Pruitt. And again, this is a guy that I'm interested to hear what you guys think about it. Like, just from watching a little bit of it, he looks phenomenal as a pass rusher, as a guy that when he's lined up near the line of scrimmage can just kind of go out and make plays. But he's also athletic enough to play in the back end. And you're going to see now getting downhill is kind of a true safety and really laying the boom. Like, if you have one word to describe what this dude plays on tape, it is physical. It probably would be enforcer. This is not a guy that opposing offenses are going to want to see in it. Once you watch the highlights, it really does start to make sense of why so many teams wanted a guy like that who can just fly around the field, absolutely make plays. Cameron Pruitt, like a really exciting prospect for Miami, who's now going to be their second highest commit in the 2024 class. And you take a look at how this 2024 class is coming along. And again, I would say maybe a slow start, right? Outside the top 25. I think they move into the top 25 once they count Cameron Pruitt. Chance Robinson, kind of the crown jewel right now. Yeah, I see what they mean, right? One commit inside the top 500 at the 24/7 sports composite. When you take a look at who they've had on campus, and if this is any indication of how this official visit has went for these players, this is a guy that wasn't really crystal balled, wasn't really trending that heavily to Miami, and then commits during his official visit weekend. What does that say? These official visits probably going pretty damn well. And if you are kind of a sicko like me and follow a lot of these guys and kind of check out where they're at and what they're doing, if you've been following how this Miami visit has went, God, if I was an elite prospect at the high school level, it'd be a very tough sell to convince me not to come to Miami and play football. Ritz-Carlton hotel. I mean, these guys were the red carpet was getting rolled out, and you look at who they came in, and if they knock this visit weekend out of the park, I think you're suddenly looking at a top 8, maybe even top 5 class. Colin Simmons made the trip. He's a guy that I wouldn't say, and we've kind of recapped all of these things. I want to talk about a few specific guys. And the first one, I mean, Colin Simmons probably on the outside looking in, but again, this changes so quickly for some of these guys. The guys that I'm really focusing on, Alice Robinson, who is a Georgia commit, but man, does it seem like he really wants to play for Miami. I mean, he committed to Georgia, I believe, a couple months ago, kind of in February. I think he's been on campus multiple times at Miami. He's an IMG kid, and I think they're really trying to sell that IMG to Miami pipeline, right? You have David Stone, who also seems to be really taking a liking to Miami, right? You kind of go off of what they're doing, not necessarily what they're saying. Alice Robinson and David Stone have been on Miami's campus multiple times in the last couple months. And what does that say? They are very interested in what Mario Cristobal is doing. And there might be a fair assessment that some of these guys are just waiting to see what this Miami team looks like in 2023 in terms of, do I want to join? I want to join a program that looks like it's trending in the right direction. And I think that is why this 2023 season is so big for Miami. If you can show that this thing is turning around, and if you come to Miami, you're going to be able to compete for championships, I suddenly think you got another selling point for some of these guys to come to Miami. Dylan Stewart's another guy that I think Miami is firmly in the races for. Also, Aiden Breland. This is not his first time coming across the country from California to visit Miami. Jarrett Gibson, obviously another IMG kid. At this point, it's a numbers game. Like when you have 4 top 10 national prospects on campus, and you're that high on their boards where they're using their official visits to go check out Miami, that's a good sign. And I don't even know if you're a leader in any of these guys' recruitments, but as it's kind of like one of those, the more axes you have in the fire, the better chance you have hitting on one. Aiden Breland, another guy, kind of rounding this out. It's just a really exciting group of visitors. And I think the biggest one is going to be next weekend, Justin Scott. He's probably the guy that if Miami is going to finish with the top 8, top 5 class, Justin Scott's probably going to be a part of it. And you're seeing so clearly what Mario Cristobal wants to do specifically on the defense, honestly, on both sides of the ball, right? In the 2023 class, 2 of the top tackles in the class, then they go into the transfer portal, land Javion Cohen, Matt Lee, and then a plethora of defensive line guys too. In this 2024 class, Mario Cristobal is going hard after the defensive line, right? Justin Scott, and then you take a look at who is on campus, David Stone, Aiden Breland, Dylan Stewart, Colin Simmons, all guys who will play on the line of scrimmage for the defense at Miami if they come. It's pretty clear what Mario Cristobal is targeting, and I think they're making those guys feel like a priority. So, yes, it's been a slow start to this 2024 class, but man, do you have to feel excited about what this 2024 class could be. I will keep in mind, signing day is not till December. Even if these cats are committed somewhere else, but they're visiting Miami, their recruitment is still open. So it's important that Miami stays on these guys. And there's not a coach you trust more to stay on these recruits than Mario Cristobal. He did it at Oregon. He did it for Miami in the 2023 class. Miami fans got a good one today. I think more are certainly on the way again. Appreciate y'all checking us out late Saturday night, giving you guys some updates. So if you do enjoy the content, again, consider subscribing to the channel. That's how you help out the fellas. We appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.